Well, welcome back to In the Hawk's Nest, everyone. This is the official podcast of Bishop Hartley High School. I am your guest host today, Andrew Jahahn. I'm our Chief Education Officer, and I'm really excited today to welcome a new leader to the Bishop Hartley family, Coach Dan Clem. He will be our new head coach for Boys Lacrosse. Yes, you heard it, Boys Lacrosse. So Dan brings more than 15 years of coaching experience, a decorated record of success, and a deep commitment to forming student athletes in Catholic education. He's also joining us as a teacher in both our business and history teams. So he'll be a daily presence in our school and the lives of our kids. So Dan, welcome to the Hawk's Nest. We're thrilled to have you here.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. I'm excited to be here and the opportunity. Getting to know everyone at Hartley so far, it's been a great start and a warm welcome, and just excited to get to work.
Absolutely. And you've been playing right now, I know. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but let's talk about your journey a little bit and your story so people get to know you. You graduated from Archbishop Hoban, which is in Akron, in 2005. And then you went on to Ohio University, got your degree in 2010 in integrated social studies. And so what originally drew you to education?
Education, first and foremost, was I wasn't always the best student in high school, and I just had a lot of teachers that had a huge positive impact on myself. And just being able to give that feeling that those teachers had to me and try to do that to a future generation was what originally drew me into the realm of education. It's just giving chance to the kids to be able to do something they didn't think they could do, or just the belief in them. That's really my goal every day in the classroom or on the field.
Yeah, we've as we've been talking and having these conversations over the last several months. So you just are a Bishop Hartley guy in the ways that you're dedicated to your alma mater as well, being a part of Hoban for a while too. You became the head coach pretty early at Hoban, and so you've been on a journey for a while after you graduated. I know you played lacrosse at OU and you have that experience. That's a big responsibility as a young coach. So what do you remember about your early years?
Yeah, 23 years old, first time out of college and inheriting a program that had been around for years that I had played for. And the earliest things I remember was just how unprepared, or how much I didn't know that I didn't know, if that makes
Right,
sense.
right.
It's one thing to say lacrosse, but then when you add in, working with a school, working with students and parents, and building a program in the way you want to build it. I definitely made a lot of mistakes in those first years, and then just growing, kind of like that trial by fire, and just learning that, hey, even though you think you know what you're doing, you really can't be prepared, and you have to kind of take that mindset that every day you've got to try to learn something new and keep growing into what you want the vision to be.
Yeah, so I'm sure your coaching has evolved obviously over the years of the different things that you've done to prepare your kids, but to build culture as well. And one of the things we're really excited about is we in the introduction that you're going to be in the building every day as a teacher. So you're going to get to know the kids on an academic level, a holistic level with all our pillars as well. How has being a teacher shaped you as a coach though?
Oh, I think the classroom is an extension of the field, or the field's an extension of the classroom. You have the same principles of, I don't know, some old mentors always said that the kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think when you're a coach, you're putting in long hours at a school. You're not there from 7:30 to 3:30. You're there from 7 o'clock to 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I think having the students see that you're bought into a school, and bought into them even more so, makes a huge difference. And that's really, again, when it comes down to educating or coaching, you're still trying to teach kids new skills, repetition, all that stuff. But I think the best way to get kids to want to try to reach those plateaus they have not met before is by first giving them that you believe in them, that you're there for them first and foremost, and then that makes their buy-in a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm excited, like I said, to have you in the building of being able to go around, talk to the kids. And we're going to find some kids in this building that didn't know they wanted to play lacrosse probably, or able to, and bring them along for the journey. And you've talked about that a little bit of what you've done at Hoban, what you've done there of some kids that come in and they don't have lacrosse experience before, and you're able to help coach them up.
Well, Akron is very different than Columbus in regards that in the early 2010s, there were not very many middle school or youth programs. So, our earliest teams were, once I got in the building, we're just trying to get, like you're saying, athletes in the building who might not have something to do in the spring, or maybe they're like a second string player on basketball or football, and then they find a chance to excel. And some of my greatest success stories, we've had players that were, all region players or league MVPs in our league, who was a backup point guard and a scout team quarterback for 3 years on the football team. And then he came out to lacrosse his sophomore year, didn't even play his freshman year. And then he ended up being league MVP his senior year, just because he found that something that fit his skills. And the testament to him is the work of putting in the work to keep getting better at it. But
hey, Dan, we're going to shift to awards and leadership. And whenever you're talking about awards and leadership, and someone may mention off the awards you have and talk about your leadership as well, it might be a little embarrassing or don't want to talk about. But I think the biggest thing that we want to share with our community is that you come from a very experienced background and have been successful in what you're doing as well. So your resume is impressive. You've been the region coach of the year 3 times, state coach of the year, North Coast League coach of the year, and you also have the 2025 OHSAA Award for exemplary contribution and service. What do those recognitions mean to you?
we can add one more awkward thing. I was just named Man of the Year for Region 6 this season.
Amazing.
As well. That came out yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, the Coach of the Year awards are awesome and fantastic, but it's, you don't win. I'm not a better coach in 2023 than I'm in 2024. It's all about the athletes and the work they put in. You get recognition for the work that, we've built over 16 years, which is my proudest moment. Is just that it's a testament more of to the development of all those kids year in and year out who keep growing and buying into the program. That's really the biggest thing. It's I'm most proud of just, 2023 or 19, we had great years, but it's the 4 or 5 years before that with the kids growing and developing every day that bring you to those lofty seasons where you get recognition. I think that's what it talks about the most.
Well, congratulations on that award as well. You're also very, very well connected, and like many coaches, you're tapped into outside the season into clubs, or and you're a part of that as well. You served as the Northeast, this is a mouthful, region president for the Ohio High School Lacrosse Coaches Association and on the executive council. How has that shaped your perspective, and how those connections helped your coaching career?
Oh, it's had a huge, profound impact. I was a head coach for 7, 8 years, and then some leadership people were stepping down. And one of my mentors always said, you got to help out the younger programs, help out the younger coaches. So after 8 years, I figured I was established enough that I would step into a role, and it's really forced me to grow up a lot, because you got to realize that you got to help take care of I think we have 60 some programs in our association, not just my school, and just being a sounding board. That was right after the transition to going to an OHSAA sport. So really helping fight for the coaches' rights. So we had to give up a lot of the freedoms we had in the early 2010s of scheduling and playoffs and stuff like that. But just being a sounding board and helping to try to build those relationships among the whole entire region as a whole, instead of just worrying about your school.
Let's shift to Hartley a little bit. And we've been on this journey for a while. We have a mutual friend, Matt Barnes, who works here locally on NBC4. And we both know I'm from Hartley, you from OU, and got us connected. And we had some conversations, did a tour, did what you would call maybe an interview, but more we're just figuring out if this was the right fit and talking about this is the direction we want to go. And so in your time experiencing Hartley right now, what sticks out to you about Hartley culture?
I would say, first and foremost, was the community, or the sense of family along with the faith. Again, I have a background in Catholic education. I went to Catholic high school and Catholic grade school. So to me, being able to educate the whole part of a student, not just worried about test scores and the academic side, but being able to share your faith and the impact that has on students is, I think, the most important thing to me at a school to work for. And then just meeting you and a few of the other people over the course of it, it just felt like a family, for lack of a better word. It felt close, kind of like where I'm coming from. And that's just what I was really, wanting for, a place that felt like I belonged in, that welcomed me in the same regards.
Yeah, and we're excited for the way you're going to shape our family as well, too, of how you become a part of Hartley culture and what's going to happen in the next several years. I got to ask like a side question. Are you a Goodfellas guy or a Big Mama's burrito guy?
Freshman year would have said Goodfellas, but from sophomore year on, it's definitely a Big Mama's burritos guy.
Okay, I will share that with Matt when I get a chance to see him again.
Not the one in Columbus, but the one down in Athens still has a better recipes, I believe.
Okay, awesome. Hey, you're moving here in June to be with your fiance and moving to the Columbus community. What are you most excited about being a part of our Central Ohio?
Just the environment of Columbus, Akron, close to Cleveland, but Columbus is kind of a more up and coming city and just the vibes. I am not an Ohio State fan. I'll be the first and foremost. So I'm not really excited for Saturdays in the fall. I think that might be more of a headache. I'm sorry if I'm turning off anybody for admitting that in Columbus, but just a chance to put down roots and the way the city has grown, and it's just a great place to start a family and and start something permanent.
Well, the wonderful thing about Columbus is you'll get pockets of Browns fans, Guardians fans, Reds fans, Bengals fan, and it becomes friendly rivalries around here. We don't talk about the Steelers fans that are around in Central Ohio um, very much, but they are here as well. So, kind of like turning the corner for a few more questions here. This is a big moment for us. We've tried this before, boys lacrosse, and now we're giving it another go and bringing you in. As we try to launch this team next year, what does this transition look like?
I mean, it's going. I'm not going to say it's not a challenge, but it's an exciting challenge. The idea of being able to build something from the ground up and just have your footprints, your handprints all over it is was really excited it to me. And one of the first questions I asked was about the commitment of the school. I didn't want to try to start a program because it is going to be a lot of work to get it off going and where we would like to end up, after a few years. But that the school is bought into the work that it's going to take. And I'm just excited to get out there and start building for the future and start getting that foundation, because that's really every program knows it's all about that culture foundation that you have to put down first to reach those goals that you want to reach.
Yeah, and we've been working on our end of meeting with some of the kids. So, we've been working with a handful and had some meetings and bringing them in and trying to teach them a little bit too. And we still have a good amount of kids that play here. I think what's exciting about, starting the program too is some of those freshmen that are coming in and some of those seventh or eighth graders at St. Cat's, at St. Matthew's, around our diocese too, will probably have an early opportunity to play. And you had talked about that, how you had some kids who played from, I think, starting freshman year. And then when they had that varsity experience going into senior year, it made a huge difference. Talk me through that a little bit.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we're new to program, so the kids who have experience might get that head up, and this you can see the growth through 4 years of varsity development, um, about what it can do for a player when they see that success and then they buy into it and they put the work in, and just where it can lead you after 4 short years. Um, and that's why it's so exciting to. I mean, lacrosse is just growing in leaps and bounds well across the state of Ohio and in Columbus especially. So it's just a great opportunity to get the seventh or eighth graders interested in a new sport and get that experience and then come in here and compete from day one, and really provide, help on the varsity level.
And if I'm correct, we'll have the college, the national championship around Memorial Day, I believe, as they're heading into the
Yeah.
playoffs, right?
This weekend, yeah. Final Four is on Saturday. Championship game is on a Saturday, Monday.
Yeah, always an exciting time of year as we're getting to the end of spring sports as well to see it on the biggest level. Let's shift into the summer and some chance for engagement. We are hosting our free lacrosse youth camp in late July. And then we're hoping to have a meet the team or meet the coach in August as you get settled and closer to the year as well. What do you hope to accomplish with some of these early kind of touch points?
Just getting sticks in people's hands and getting that foundation built. Lacrosse is a skilled game, so we need to learn how to pass and catch. And just the more chance we get to be together and build a community and a culture together, it starts in the summer. I mean, every team knows that as much as high school sports might be a 3-month window, what you do in the off season really pays dividends for hitting the ground running. So just a chance to get to meet everybody and get people bought into the vision, that starts day one in July. That first, clinic would be a phenomenal opportunity to get that going.
Yeah, and we're talking about even in the fall having some opportunities for some youth as well, of bringing them in on some Saturdays or something to continue the growth and exposure to Bishop Hartley boys lacrosse. So, Dan, I want to give you the last word here. What message would you want to send to the Bishop Hartley students, families, and alumni?
I'm just excited to get to work. We're excited to, add another varsity sport to the legacy of the Hartley Hawks, and can't wait to start competing in the spring and bringing more of that winning culture to the school.
Well, Dan, thank you very much and congratulations. We are looking forward and excited to have you here and be a Hawk here within a matter of days. So good luck as you transition into the move, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.